Welcome to CMST 101, Intro to Communication Studies. I am Kelsey Mackey and I am your instructor for this course. In this video, we will look at how I have set up Canvas for the course so that you know where to find things, how to move through tasks, and things of that nature. Before we begin though, I want you to know that I am very much open and available to your questions. Online courses can be really challenging because we don't have that face-to-face time to problem solve. So I can't see your face and know whether you understand what I'm talking about or not. So if you don't understand or if you do have questions, it's really important that you ask me because I can't read your minds and I definitely can't read your minds through the screen. So please, please, please always feel free to ask questions and come to me with concerns. I'm going to do right by you as the student and I'm going to do right by you as the learner. So please let me know. So let's begin. Our course, when you log in and come to courses and hit on our class, will look just like this. So every week I will be updating this home page. The home page will show the outcomes for the week, the things that we're working on. It will also show the assignments that are due that week. The assignments will list the day and time that they are due. Some assignments have 2 due dates, and most of those are our discussion boards. An originating post on the discussion board is due Thursday at 11:59 p.m. Your replies are due Sunday at 11:59 p.m. I can only show one due date in Canvas. So the due date I've selected for that assignment is the Thursday due date. But don't forget that the replies are due Sunday. I will send you announcements to remind you of this and always be pointing it out, but it's important that you keep that in mind too. The other thing the homepage will show is a video that outlines for you what's going on in the week. You'll see me, just like this, going over the module for the week. So that's a way to get oriented as to what you need to do for the week. Our week runs Monday through Sunday. So most everything is due Sunday at 11:59 p.m. That is Pacific Standard Time. The last thing you'll see on this homepage are links to 2 different discussion boards. The first is a course question board. If you have any questions about the class, this is the first line of defense that you want to use. Post the question here and then I'll get back to you, or maybe even a classmate might get back to you. This really helps me if you use this for posting questions because then I can see if multiple students are having the problem or if it's just you or whatever. Another thing that's really helpful is that if you are having any problems in Canvas, make sure to take a screenshot. And if you don't know how to take a screenshot, you can Google how to take a screenshot on a Mac, how to take a screenshot on a PC, and that will give you the information on how to do it. A screenshot is just a picture of your desktop, so if there's a problem that you're running into, if you take that picture, I can see it and better address the issue. So anyhow, that's something that you can use this course question board for. You can also contact me through Canvas messages if you want to have a private conversation, but this is a really good way to get started if it's something simple. Another discussion board you have available here is what I call the course water cooler, and the water cooler is for socializing with your classmates or sharing interesting links you found on the internet, things like that. Just keep in mind that we are a professional environment, so you want to keep it clean on the course water cooler. So both of those boards are available to you from the home page. The next tab that we use is announcements. Announcements is where I will send out updates, reminders, reviews, interesting facts, things like that. It's mostly for me to communicate with the whole class at once directly. So if you notice, I have a link here about the ebook that's available for our course. You can reply to comments here. However, I rarely see them quickly. I will see them, but it might take me a day or 2. I don't get updates when there's a reply, so this isn't the best way to get a hold of me. You can do it, but it's not recommended. The next tab that we use is modules. I organize our class according to weeks, and under the modules is really the meat and potatoes of the course. This is where everything you're going to do is located. I only make 2 weeks available at a time, and that's because I don't want you working too far in advance. At some point in the class, you'll be working in groups, and if you get too far ahead, then your groups will be in different places, and that's really challenging. Also, I think if you have too much, it can be overwhelming, and in addition, if there's more weeks available, then some people will move themselves out of the week that we're in, and I really want you to be present in the discussions that are going on in that week. So, the week's modules can be opened and closed this way, in that little triangle. In addition, the week will always have an introduction video. This is the same introduction video that is on the home page, but the introduction video will go over that week's module in detail. You can always tell that there are assignments that are due because they will be tabbed in, and they will have a date and a point value associated with them. The dates and the point values are what tell you that it is something that you must turn in or complete. The rest of this material that is not tabbed in is support material for those assignments. So you'll want to make sure that you're going through the support material before completing the assignment. So those are the modules. This is where all the action happens. The next tab we'll be using is the Grades tab, so you can click on that by hitting Grades. The Grades tab will show all of the assignments in the course, and as well as their due dates and the total point values. At the bottom, you'll see all the different categories of grades, and that will tell you how you're doing in various areas. If you are unhappy with your grade, this is one of the best ways to check and see what areas you can improve. For example, if you have a total grade that you're not happy with and you're not sure what areas might need your most attention, you can look here and it will tell you. Because if your interactions are particularly low while other things are high, or if your speeches and videos are particularly low while other things are high, that tells you what areas need improvement. So when you submit something on Canvas, there will be a little graphic that comes in here that says, oh, okay, you've submitted it. So for example, the test student has submitted a contribution to the Making Online Work discussion board. It shows because there's a little graphic there. If they had completed their welcome video submission, there'd be a little check mark. Those things tell you that things have been submitted. However, if there's no graphic and no grade, it means that you haven't submitted it and I haven't graded it. If there's a graphic and no grade, it means I haven't graded it yet. If you're wondering what particular scores would do to your grade, you can use something called a what if grade feature. So what that means is you can click in this area and enter potential scores for yourself. When you do that, you'll see the grade over here is changing. And that tells you what your grade would be if you had these scores. Now, the grade point that you see is accurate. So if these were the scores that you earned, you would have a 4.0 in the class. However, these are hypothetical that you've entered, so you want to make sure you revert back to what you actually have. If you had 10%, you would be failing. At the very beginning of the course, I don't want you to be too stressed out about your grade, and that's because at the beginning you have very few points that have been entered. So for example, if you do the first few assignments in the first few weeks and you don't get quite perfect grades, like this, you could be failing, especially if you don't submit that first welcome video, right? You're going to see a low grade even if your scores aren't quite right, or even if your scores aren't terrible. And that's because there just aren't that many points yet in the class that are being calculated. This grade is coming out of, less than 50 points. Over the course of the quarter, you're going to have almost 1,000 points. So I don't want you to worry too much about the grade that you're seeing in the first week. That's what the first week is for, right? Figuring out where your successes are, figuring out what areas are confusing to you. So please don't stress too much about this grade in the first couple weeks. It will go up if you continue to improve and continue to complete your work. Periodically, you will see other icons in here. They'll be along here. And those will be rubric and comments from me about the particular assignment. So once you get a score from me, make sure you check out those comments in the rubric for further support as to what needs to be improved or what was already in good shape. If you ever have any questions about grades, I'm happy to talk about them. I am happy to make a Skype appointment with you to discuss one-on-one. I try to leave comments on most everything. The discussion board, sometimes I don't leave that many comments, but I am always happy to answer questions if you have them. The last two tabs that are available here are the SCC library and then e-tutoring. Both of them have a link to open up in an additional tab, and these are support services that are available to you as a student. So if you need help with research or you need help with MLA citations, that's what the library is for. If you need tutoring or support in your writing or your speaking, e-tutoring is available to you there. The last couple of things to keep in mind are that you can get to your grades by hitting grades at the top here. If you're taking multiple Canvas courses, they'll all show up at once. The test student is just in one, so they just see the grades for this course. And then there's also the calendar tab, and the calendar tab will show the assignments again for all of the courses you're in. Most of our assignments are due Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Like I mentioned earlier, your first discussion boards are due on Thursdays. Because the test student has already contributed to making online work, it shows that it's crossed out. That means that they've completed it. However, like I said, I can't show that the replies are due Sunday, so that's something you just sort of have to keep in mind. Please be wary that this calendar is not necessarily the best way to look at your assignments because only things that are dated and due with a submission are listed here. So for example, if there's reading you need in order to contribute to a discussion board, that's not going to be listed here. You will only find that in the module. So just be wary when using the calendar and know that it's probably not the strongest way to look at the content that you need to do for our particular course. The strongest way is to come to the modules and work through the tasks as they are ordered. I hope this video has helped you get a handle on how the class is organized. Like I said at the beginning, if you ever have any questions, please get a hold of me. I respond as quickly as possible. I do take a break on the weekend, and that's because I want to be able to be refreshed and as supportive as possible throughout the week. So if you have questions, please make sure you're coming to me in advance. Do not leave all of your work till Sunday night. I won't be available to answer the questions, and I won't have much sympathy for that level of procrastination. It's going to take you all week to do this successfully, just like it would in a face-to-face class. So please organize your time, give yourself the opportunity to be successful, and let me know what I can do to help. Thanks!